and stop doing all that. You got people in your city to do amazing things. Show love. There's so much incredible things we can do. I done met so many people in my city who could do this, do that. I make beats. I do this. I can put on shows. I can do this. I can do. Dog, we don't really need no other city or no other state. I'm telling you, I done met so many people in my city. We can do this by ourselves. And it's not to say that we can't work with nobody. It's just to say we got hella talent right here. And that's all I'm saying. I just want all my people to work together and just do this. Because we can do this. Like,
Have you personally felt any struggle? Sorry. Have you personally, since you've been in Boston, you're from Boston, yeah?
yep, yep.
So what issues have you personally
With
went
struggle.
that you can speak on?
As far as anything like that,
What was it based on because you're a LGBT community?
mm, I don't know if it was based on that.
Okay.
I might assume it was based on that. You
Yes,
feel
yes.
me? I done met a lot of people I could assume it was based on that, but no matter what you think of me, I would assume that how I work for the city, we can just come up here and do it together. But I feel you. I wouldn't be me if I don't look at it and be like, no, you coming against my people. We not on that. So right now, I say shout out to Boston Urban Pride. I'm an ambassador for them right now, so we get it popping. This summer right now, we gonna get it popping. Look, we ain't playing no games. I ain't gonna hold none of y'all. None. We ain't doing none of that. Listen, all my people doing that. From straight to gay, none of that. Listen, I've never been on none of that. My soul, I'm here with y'all because this is who I am. You know what I mean? So I want all of us to be against that. And I want all of us to be with that. So if you
Sorry, I just want to not deflect,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
just want.
What?
So just because you're from Boston, you're
Of
LGBT
course, yeah,
artist,
yeah.
So I just want people
Everything,
who
yeah.
are watching
Of course,
to see if you have personally any like adversities because of your what you identify as.
I can say I've
If you
had
haven't,
a
you haven't.
no, definitely I like that. I can say I've had adversities, but I can't really speak too much on it because I just want people to just come together. A lot of people, you feel me? A lot of people be trying to like divide different stuff because of how they feel or what it is, and I'm not here to judge you on none of that. I'm not here to judge you on none of that.
But one of the questions
Do you
like,
think?
how do you
Yeah.
know when you are being discriminated against?
Mhm.
And like how do you know if it's just like, oh, this person's just a dickhead? You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like how do you
Facts.
how do you know when like, oh, this person doesn't like
Facts.
me because
I think with
Facts.
me, with
I'ma
I was
s-
just Connecticut. Sorry, real
No,
quick.
no, no, you go
Is
ahead.
when I was in Connecticut, I
Mhm.
had a couple people come up to me that was straight male artists, rappers, and was like, people told me not to work with you because you're gay. Like, oh, hey, like, you know this?
Flat out.
that's
Yes.
fucked up. Yeah, that's
And they was like,
Mhm,
hey,
mhm.
you know, like they was like, oh, you know this person's gay though, whatever. And the person I worked with was like, yeah, he was like, she told me the stories like multiple times, and was just like, yeah, I know he is, but I fuck with him, he's dope, blah blah blah, whatever. But they would tell me like, yeah, my friends told me not to work with you because you're gay, blah blah blah, not
I feel
whatever.
like that too.
I'm just like, damn, niggas is really that blatant.
yeah. That's wild.
And it's crazy, and that's my point of like, you see me as my orientation before you see anything else.
It's crazy because if you were in another industry, like the fashion industry, I feel like it would be completely different.
When I'm dancing, nobody says anything. 'Cause
right,
they can't. 'Cause I
Right.
can dance.
Right.
Not to say I can rap. I can rap too.
Wait,
but
wait,
people
so
know me as a dancer more than
when you
know me as a rapper.
dancing, it's not like this. This is just when it's
It's literally
It's the music
it's the
industry.
music
when it's just when
industry.
it's music.
Yes, I'm telling you.
It's all like
That's
it's-
deep. That's deep to me though.
It
That's
is,
crazy.
because it's a
That's
whole
kind of crazy
entity
to
by
me.
itself.
Yes.
Dance is a whole entity by itself. Fashion is a whole entity by itself.
That's
So
deep.
There's
That-
gay-
but that's deep to me.
You don't feel a bunch of discrimination when you go into the music industry.
But
so
see,
maybe it's different for,
I'm gonna keep it a buck because they saying dancing. I don't do a whole
no,
lot.
He said
You
as
said
a
do
gay-
music?
Yeah.
Okay, for music.
You,
Okay.
music-wise.
All right. So for music wise,
You never face any type of discrimination. Anything.
no, I do. But
Is there anything you can talk about?
Yeah.
okay, so that's what I said. It's a
Not the
mix.
whole
It's a mix. That's what I said. It's a mix, bro. It really is a mix because I do feel it at certain times, and then even being in my own family. Like for instance, right? I was I was the only stud in my family within a whole lot of cousins who was rapping. All my cousins was males. They was rapping, doing this shit. And then I didn't even know what a stud was until one of my cousins was like, "You a stud?"
Did you feel like
I said, "What is a stud? I don't know what that is." It's a female rapping her ass off. Okay, I guess I get what a stud is. I didn't know what that is.
Right.
You feel me? So you learn different stuff and you learn different aspects. For instance, I think a lot of people in this game, a lot of females hold a lot of males in this game up. Well, they won't say all that, but I'm just saying, like, a lot of people hold a lot of people. And whether it's a male or female, your team is your team. And I need you to start holding your team down. Whoever it is who does the thing, hold it down. And I've met in Boston, my team been, it doesn't matter, females or males. I've met females who hold me down. I met males who don't hold me down. And I just want to say, whoever your core system is, hold on to them and go popping. It's not about who's who. We're not gonna play sides and sides. I'm just saying this. When it comes to this game, I'm just saying, me as a female, as a stud, I was coming up. A lot of my cousins was males, and they was growing up, and I learned.
Did they treat you the same? You know, as a self-identified stud, did your male cousins and male counterparts treat you the same, or did you face adversity because they didn't take you as seriously, or what was it?
And I think before you answer that, I think the
Whatever.
thing is I guess I'm not a host,
Mhm.
I'm just here, but me being here, and I think the importance of this conversation is
Mhm.
very important, that you're very direct.
Facts.
And when they're asking that, you have to understand, like, there are viewers and little girls and boys,
Right.
Facts.
And
All that.
maybe older
All that,
people who
and
are
that's why I
also
want, yeah.
yes.
Facts.
So telling your story,
Facts.
you don't have to tell all of it, but
yeah.
just as
Definitely.
long as you are very
Definitely.
direct and
Definitely.
authentic what you're saying of
Facts.
answering your question.
That's a fact. Definitely. Definitely appreciate you. So, in hip hop in general, doing music, you would think that males run the game. You would think like they do everything. Listen, I need y'all to just hear everything. Whether it's your cousin, it's your uncle, it's your father, whoever it is, your best friend. Listen, females have a lot of accountability in this game, and we just starting to recognize it. So I want more females to rise together and just go popping. But I also recognize a lot for my males, my cousins, my uncles, those who they brought me up in the game. So teaching me all that, it means a lot to me. So whoever it is you learn the game from, learn from them, but don't also forget to tell your own story. Like, it's a lot. This hip hop game it's a lot, man. Learn from people, tell your own story, and then grow and do your own thing. It's a lot. Yo, just tell the pieces and bring the pieces together. This is a journey too. Ain't nothing overnight. Tell your story, and it's always gonna be a process, yo. I'm telling you. It's a fact.
I need your story. And
That's good.
I think you have to understand, and I don't want to keep on reiterating it and like
Mhm.
be redundant. Maybe you guys understand what I'm saying.
Pride.
Facts.
So let's
But-
pry.
I think you have to speak on you, right?
Fact.
And I love that you have this like dopeness around you and the spirit. And I love that you have this dopeness around like the community. But it feels like it's like, do your thing, you guys, blah blah blah, whatever. But we don't know you. What are
Yeah.
you going through?
Oh, yeah.
What is happening with you?
Definitely.
Exactly. What have you faced? You know, in your face. And maybe you have
Facts.
not faced anything.
And what I can say
Yeah.
that's real. What I can say that is listen to the music. Whatever artist it is, right? I can't tell you nothing too much on an interview. If I tell you my whole story, would you want to listen to the music? Would you want to hear what I'm about? Of course not, because I told you everything, right? My story is in my music. My story is in everything I've been through. I don't ever tell nobody nothing, too much, nothing. I'll tell you a little bit. I'll let you get intrigued. Like, we all want that, right? But I'm telling you, my city, Boston, Mass, is on fire. And I know it's on fire because I've seen a whole bunch of celebrities come here and just be, y'all ain't coming here just to do nothing. You coming here for a reason, right? We got mad talent. We've been had talent. But I'm just saying we here for a reason. So all I'm saying is tell your story, be about everything, and keep telling your story. They don't want to be intrigued. If you tell them everything, is they going to keep being intrigued? We have to give them a little bit of something. There's a
It
mystery and
may.
everything.
I
Hip hop, you know what I mean? That's it. I'm
yeah,
just saying,
I feel like
I gotta do that.
yes.
I can't tell them everything.
Not everything.
That's a fact.
But I feel like opening up
Fact,
a little
definitely.
bit can relate
Facts.
to one person. As long as it relates to one
Mhm.
person,
Hell yeah,
then you can touch
definitely.
someone.
They
Yeah.
definitely
And
interested.
I'm
They,
not
yeah,
telling you need to like tell your whole story,
of course.
right? But any personal thing that you've been through,
yeah,
somebody can relate to that.
of course.
What's something that makes you like most relatable? Like the one thing that you think would make you most
Most
relatable
relatable, me?
to anybody.
Me, but let's say, okay. I would say, make me most relatable.
Most relatable.
Listen. Okay. You ever wanted to believe it? You ever wanted somebody to believe in you so bad, and you know what? That's facts.
Yeah.
I don't want you to tell nobody too much. A lot of times I've watched my own family, all type of people. Y'all tell too many people too much.
Mm-hmm.
Stop telling people the whole story. Let them be curious. Let them come find out. I'm not gonna tell you everything because I don't need to. I need you to come hit me for the interview. I need you to come hit me for the album. I need you to come hit me for everything. That's just real facts. It don't matter who it is. And I mean that for everybody. Whether you're a promoter, whether you're a writer, whether you're you do the shit for the music. Let people tell your story just a little bit. Stop telling people everything. A lot of people should be online telling people everything. I don't need to tell you everything. I need you to come find out. And that's what makes the best story ever. Come find out about me. That's a fact. That's it.
Yes.
That's
And
fact.
I appreciate that. And I
Mhm.
love that spirit.
Facts.
And I think when it comes to like personal stuff, of
Mhm.
course, you don't have to tell everything. But I feel like when it comes to adversities you've faced, that is something that's relatable to people.
Fact.
So you telling something that you have been going through or been through, and especially in the Boston community where there's a lot of LGBT artists,
Definitely.
may known or not known, they hearing you say something that you may have faced, maybe they face the same thing, and maybe they can find a solution or find some type of something from it. That's all I'm coming from.
Nah, for you.
Yes.
And for that, I would say, yo, for anybody, be yourself. Like, I see a lot of people trying to like portray a story that's not theirs. Be yourself. How else can you find results for yourself if it's not your story? Tell your story.
Yeah.
I done seen that so many times from my city, whether it's a nigga or a female, whoever. I don't care. Tell your story.
One thing you're saying though,
That's it. Be
it's
like, I can't express enough. Tell your story.
you get outcasted in two ways.
Facts.
Being an artist in a family is also is very weird, and then also being LGBTQIA,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, in a family, you
Facts.
you outcast yourself twice. You know what I mean, and it's hard to even I want niggas to support me. I want my family to support me. Finding support in a family as an artist, one is hard, and then you're in a different community.
Facts.
Now it's definitely harder. You know what I mean? Getting people to take you seriously. This is what I want to do and shit like that. I only know half of that stage. You know what I mean? But I can only imagine that it will be very different and difficult for people who are in you guys.
Definitely. I can say personally, from my family coming out in both, I guess, as an artist and as my sexuality was both different times. What was important to me was to come out to my aunt. I never got a chance to come out to my dad or my mom. Me and my mom didn't really have a good relationship, but that's another story. Anyway, I never got a chance to come out to my dad, but I got a chance to come out to my aunt, and I was very grateful for that. And then I guess in a sense, I came out to my family online. I did like a post. It was like Pride Month, share a story, whatever. And I shared my story when I came out in middle school, and
Did you? Was that? Were you just like you just posted it, or did you like you had to take a deep breath and you were like,
oh, that's a good point.
you know what I mean? What happened?
I definitely took a deep breath, because there was one particular person on my page, an uncle, and I was like, he a preacher. I don't know how you gonna feel about, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, well, it is what it is at this point. Like, I'm on my own. I pay my own bills. I pay my own rent. I don't ask them for anything. So it's like, you can get upset, but I ain't gonna see you again until the next cookout. If I see you,
yeah.
and even if I see
If I
you,
go to the
if
cookout,
I even go to cookout, you know,
because I'm busy.
okay. And then you know, when I did came out, you know, it was a little different. His reaction was surprisingly supporting. I was like, okay, guess, you know, people have the right to change and evolve, and I respect that. But when I came out as an artist, that's another story. Man, my first lingerie I was very proud of, and that did not go very well. They're like, what are you doing? You're embarrassing us. Like, you shouldn't have that much out, and you're, you know, that's only for marriage and all this stuff. I'm like, honey, you don't even got a husband, but that's another story. Man, I'm all married. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, didn't you do the same thing when you were my age? You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. And I learned in the film, my mom did modeling, and I really didn't really put that together, but she did fashion shows when she was in high school. She did some independent photos. God, I wish I still had them, but I heard she was beautiful. She did a good job. And even though it is a different time and I choose to express myself this way, it's still a risk. And even now, when I post something, they're like, "Oh, you shouldn't post that." I got one aunt in the whole family, all the way down to Florida, who supports me. She's like, "You're beautiful. You keep going. Don't listen to the haters." I'm like, "Girl, you're 50. I'm on haters." I mean, I still support it, and I love it. And you know, it is a struggle, but then eventually you just get over it, and you're like, you know, I'm an adult. I don't need to be watched. If I'm not under your roof, living under your rules, you should not, you know, care. I'm not out here doing reckless stuff. I'm not being unsafe. I'm not, you know, doing X, Y, and Z. So that's that. And who knows? Maybe one day I do a photo and it pays my rent, and I can get me and my brother a house. You don't know that. You don't.
Yeah.
So that's that.
I wanted to say, we talk about like what you call it, people not accepting you, what you call it, as you came out and stuff like that. But you taking the step to be your authentic self, and then people came out and you were like, oh shit, like, oh, this person supports me. People who, what you call it, you being your authentic self, you found out people who fucking who found that like I support you. You know what I mean? And you wouldn't have found that if you were like lying to yourself or holding it. Like, what are you guys' experiences with, like, you know, being your authentic self and finding support within your community?
I think it's like a coming out story, right? Like when you first come out and like feeling like you're not gonna be accepted by your family, friends, etc. And then not for everybody. Some people come out with experiences like I came out and it was like, we knew you was gay. We was waiting for you to come out. You know, like
what was your coming out story?
So with me, I told my mother and she said that literally to me.
That was my
Okay.
I knew you were gay. I was just waiting for you to say it.
She was super supportive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can talk to her for days about my boyfriends, etc.
That's beautiful.
My dad's different story.
Okay.
I say dad's plural because I have a stepdad and a biological father, and I don't call my stepdad a stepdad because he was my father. He was there.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful to him.
Mhm.
So, my dad number one, dad A, who I was living with all my life, I've never personally told him until maybe 2 years ago. He knew, of course, but my mom told him and didn't get a chance to tell him myself.
Mom.
So I literally sat him down and had a conversation. I was like, "Hey, Dad, I'm let you know, like, I came out, blah, blah, blah. I'm gay, blah, blah." I was like, "I know this from back then, but I'm like, I never told you, though. I never had the
courage.
not the courage, but I just never. And it wasn't up to me to tell you. My mother told you. Like, it wasn't right. I didn't have the right to tell you myself. You know? So I want to tell you myself as an old adult now. My biological father didn't accept it because he's Muslim.
Okay.
So he was just not with it at all. And he was like, I still love you, but I don't accept it. You know, type of thing.
I still love you, but I don't accept it.
So it's like, how
does that feel?
How do you take that?
Yeah.
And I just remember like looking at him crying and walking away, and like it was a movie scene. Like, it was raining. I was running down the street. It was so dramatic.
Yeah.
Like,
But how do you take that though? Like I still love you,
I
but
think
don't
to
accept
this
your
day, I
lifestyle.
think I still have a feeling towards him. At my age now, I'm 30, and I don't tell people I'm 30, but I don't look 30 because I'm a bad bitch. But like literally, like I think subconsciously, I still have that like hate and like you didn't accept me,
I think I would feel the same way.
you know.
If somebody told me I love you but I don't accept, it's not even
Like,
it's
how
not
do you
even
take that? Do
can't
you
call
really
it a
love me then?
lifestyle.
Right, like is it fake?
Yeah, it's
Right.
you can't call it a lifestyle. It's your identity. I love you, but I don't accept your identity. You feel disenfranchised. You feel like shit. It's like, do you even love me? I don't know.
Right.
It's
how do
it's
one take that?
yeah. I don't know. It's a trash experience. I don't know.
Absolutely. I'm not gonna go there. Sorry, my eyes.
Oh, you good,
Let's
bro?
move on.
Yeah.
Move on. Somebody else. Yes. Go ahead. Sorry.
You good, you good shit. But you're real. It's like, when you expect someone to rock with you like that, you expect it all the way around. You don't only expect it with limitations. So it's complicated when you live in this world. So it's like, you expect people to rock with you different, but it's gonna come with limits. You know what I mean? And anyone that rock with you that limit, you're gonna be like, yo, I rock with you 100, but it come with a lot. You know what I mean? You gotta really rock with who come with you genuine, who's coming with benefits, or who's coming with whatever else. It take a lot for you to rock with us on some real human being shit and really feel us on that length. So it's deep. It's a fact. I know.
And I just think it really does. We talked about it a little bit, like who's in your circle, your
Mhm.
core circle. And I'm very grateful for, I call them my roots in my life, because the roots I have in my life, they're either been with me since I was a kid, or, a certain time in my life where I was really going through it. I have 3 male best friends. I'm the only female in our little group. Another story why. But all 3 of them came into my life, when I needed somebody the most. When my mom passed, I met my first best friend. My dad passed, I met my second best friend. When I was going through an identity crisis or grieving, I should say, I was going through grieving, I met my third best friend. And we're still rocking with each other. And I'm very grateful for them, because they've given me opportunities and given me a perspective of life that I didn't really have growing up, if that makes sense. I have 2 friends that went to college, have a degree, and this summer one of my friends was nice enough to let me go to his pop-up shops when I was trying to start my little candle business. He didn't have to do that. He was doing it for somebody else, but he invited me and took the time to come get me and help me. And then when I needed help with my portfolio and modeling, he's a model too, and he helped me and took the time to do that. He didn't have to do that. And I have a friend in doing his design, and I told him, hey, if you need somebody to model, I got you, like, for free. I'm not going to charge you. So that's it. It's like one of those things of, helping each other out and lifting each other. And hopefully one day, one of my friends said, we're all going to get houses. We're all going to get a copy of our key. We're just, I'm like, don't be popping in my house if I do that. But you know what I mean? But I appreciate that, because it's like, wow, we're really trying to look out for each other. And, we don't all have to be on the same level, but we can at least try to come together and help when it's needed,
Yep. And this is part 1 of a larger conversation. I'm a cis hetero male piece of shit, whatever the fuck it is. But I'm very happy that I was able to talk to you guys and understand what you guys are kind of going through, and and talk to you guys as artists and shit. So and we can definitely dive deep later on in where the fuck it is, if some of you guys want to come back. But this is part 1 of a larger conversation, a conversation that should be had more. And I fuck with y'all.
Hey, shout out to you
What's
for
up?
bringing us together too. Thank
Yo, shout out to
you.
Mos. Shout out to Mos Generous, bruh.
Thank you.
This is
Yeah.
lit. We love this. Safe
Big Craig, wrap us up.
I'll come back. I'll come back.
Yeah, I still have a lot more to say.
I think this is I think it's very important that we have these conversations. And I think it's very important that we have these spaces. And I want, like, when I say spaces, I don't mean spaces that, like, um we as a community, LGBT community, are holding for ourselves, but spaces for, like, heterosexual males, females, that hold spaces for us.
Yeah.
And how big that is.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for you guys and very appreciative that you guys gave us a space to have these conversations, because it means a lot. Because a lot of heterosexual people don't even care to listen or care what we
Yeah.
have to say.
But that's the thing. It's like nobody wants the Trump supporters and the Biden supporters to have to talk, because once that happens, you start to understand, and once you start to understand, you start to have some compassion. And once you got that compassion, you realize that everybody is a human. So at the end of the day, like, we're happy to, and we want to have any type of conversation that there is. But I still got a lot of questions. I know that you guys have a lot of answers. I know y'all got a lot of questions. We got a lot of answers. So on that note, y'all, it is it for this episode of Show and Tell After Dark. Thank y'all for coming to meet the family tonight.
Come meet the family.
That's it.
That's